call the member for Baulkham Hills.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker, and I join the member for Parramatta in congratulating, commemorating and of course celebrating the 15th of August, this year being Indian National Day. Madam Speaker, in the old days the Australian-Indian national relationship could have been decreed under the 3 Cs: cricket, Commonwealth and commerce, or in my case, as you can see, curry, which I enjoy. But like the member for Parramatta, I'm delighted and honoured to have been appointed by the Minister for Citizenship, the Honourable Victor Dominello, to co-chair with the member for Parramatta the Australian-Indian Ministerial Advisory Council. That council will be, I think, a lead body in the Australian-Indian relations here in New South Wales, particularly in the electorate of Parramatta, which harbours, like the electorate of Baulkham Hills, so many major contributors to the Australian community. Madam Speaker, Indian National Day is a great celebration for Indians that live right across the world. But let's just focus on the New South Wales relationship between between New South Wales and India, and of course, Madam Speaker, the contribution made to Indians here in New South Wales. We have 2 major organisations, namely the United India Association and the combined the Council of Indian Australians. Both of those organisations have established themselves as the peak bodies and the peak voices for Indian Australians. Indians have been migrating to Australia for well over 100 years, Madam Speaker, and we have a wonderful relationship with them in so many areas. Of course, as the member for Parramatta has noted, and others, that our sporting prowess with the Indian community has been one of great note. It has been one of great celebration, and I could recite for hours, Madam Speaker, the occasions in which Australians have enjoyed wonderful sporting opportunities between Australia and India. We also, of course, Madam Speaker, share great rivalry in the Commonwealth Games, and a number of Indian Australians have made a massive contribution to both the Australian contribution to the Commonwealth Games, but also the Indian contribution to the Commonwealth Games. I vividly remember, Madam Speaker, being a fan of all things Indian, attending the Commonwealth Games in Manchester, and I attended the Indian versus Pakistani hockey match, which was a medal-playing hockey match. And I don't recall ever seeing a sporting event that could create such energy than that traditional rival between Pakistan and India, and that particular event of the Commonwealth Games. Madam Speaker, Indian Australians have had a wonderful heritage in our military, and I can say, as a former military officer myself, I've served with some wonderful, like the member for Blue Mountains, I hasten to add, Madam Speaker, and that's it. I can say that the wonderful contribution that Indian Australians have made to our Defence Forces have been of note. And I know that those celebrating the Indian National Day, both last Friday, where I attended with the member for Parramatta Park, and this Sunday at Baulkham Hills, when the UIA will be having a very similar event celebrating Indian National Day, I know that there are so many members of the Indian Australian community that are happy for us to celebrate and commemorate the proud heritage that they have, the shared heritage they have with our military. Military events that can be dated back to the Boer War, when the Indians made such a major contribution to the British forces attacking the Boers in South Africa between 1899 and 1901. Military heritage that dates back to World War I, when so many Indian battalions fought so bravely with the rest of the then Empire forces on the Western Front. Military forces which were joined in battle in Southeast Asia, when both Indian, Australian and British forces held back as much as possible the Japanese invasion down the Malay Peninsula, and particularly in Singapore. Indians have maintained a great presence right around the Commonwealth, and indeed right around the world. But of course, this weekend, once again, the member for Parramatta and I will be celebrating this massive contribution in Homebush Bay. We'll be celebrating the deserved accolades that Indian Australians can accept from the Australian community and the New South Wales community, Madam Speaker, and I'm proud to celebrate the wonderful contribution that Indian Australians have, and particularly celebrate Indian National Day here in New South Wales.